Our campaign is driven by an academic competition that will be held in Recife, capital of Pernambuco. The student who wins the competition will get a free trip to California to visit Stanford University and the opportunity to take part in INSPIR's scholarship program. Regarding our targets and our segmentation, we divided the four segments of geographic being the public in Pernambuco, the demographic being the public school, low-income students ranging from 16 or 15 to 22 years of age, of any gender. The psychographic is related to how students are in search of their vocation and new challenges, and that value the innovation and technology and have an open mind for different experiences and who are ethically driven. And in the behavioral side, it's regarded to young people who are willing to face challenges and learn along the way and are aiming to use these abilities along that they have achieved along the way to serve their country.
Regarding INSPIR's positioning and its relationship with the target we settled before, in recent years, INSPIR has increasingly expanded its scholarship program that is called Programa de Bolsas and seeks to provide opportunities for potential leaders in innovation and innovative professionals from graduation to the other stages of their lives more and more, enabling them to deal with the complexities of the environment in which they operate. And therefore, the focus on public school students comes to diversify the student body and expand access to quality education to other class levels.
So now turning to an analysis of how consumers will spread the word of mouth, we decided to take the main idea of the campaign to hold a problem-solving competition within public schools in Pernambuco, whilst also presenting to these students what INSPIR is and how it has impacted the lives of many young people throughout Brazil in way of the scholarship program. We thought that the 5 T's of how we would spread the word of mouth would be that the talkers are the students themselves taking part in the competition, as well as mainstream media, which would be like newspapers and TV companies that are talking about this event, given that INSPIR is a big university in Brazil. And topics that would be talked about are INSPIR's innovative methodology, the competition itself, and the prize of winning the competition would be a trip to California to visit Stanford, and that would definitely be a topic that people would talk about, as well as looking to the tools that we would use for people to talk about the competition are literally the competition to see who are the best students in Pernambuco, as well as the free trip to Stanford. And we would use social media to have people know what's going on and what the event is about. A way of taking part in the event and being up to date of what's happening is having INSPIR professors and partner entrepreneurs participating in the event, as well as current scholarship students all present to know how the event went. And then in terms of tracking, we'd have a questionnaire at the end of the competition trying to understand how many people hadn't heard about INSPIR beforehand, and now that they do know if they consider going to INSPIR as a viable and a priority option.
We would influence the consumers to choose INSPIR services by 2 means. The first one would be showing them a different reality than they are exposed every single day. And we would do that by exhibiting the institutional presentation and also in a larger way through the trip to California, since many of the students there had probably never left the city on a trip before. And the other way would be through the presence of the students from INSPIR in the event, since this would allow the students from Pernambuco to hear their stories and then create a identification with them.
So the information processing will change the consumer decision making through several ways. Firstly, because the university is not as well known in Pernambuco, especially in public schools. And so the competition will bring awareness and would make the external search possible and easier. And also, the event itself will show that the students with a low income can also study at INSPIR, changing the possibilities of the consumers. And then relating to how choosing a university is a high involvement process. Um, First, normally the people in this segment do not have many options to choose as they can't afford a private university, and then the awareness of the scholarship program would give them a higher involvement, and something to search and be involved with.
Regarding consumer theories, showing the benefits of taking part in such a prestige and diverse university that INSPIR is, would instigate several positive emotions in the decision-making process of the students. Also, by only including the top-tier universities as USP, FGV, and also INSPIR, it is possible to highlight the quality of INSPIR itself. So it would unconsciously limit consumers' choice and encourage them to be part of INSPIR, the partly queen effect. And lastly, we can also see the attraction effect since giving them the chance of getting to know Stanford, even coming from a low standard of living, would increase the student's desire for being an INSPIR student.
The students' information processing will begin with the stimulus that the competition will bring to them in a moment of putting them out of their comfort zone with a fun and technological interaction and showing another perspective of learning and development. With this, some positive emotions will be stimulated, which would be people getting excited, happy, satisfied, glad. But their decision making also requires a rational assessment, which would have them going for three types of information search would be the internal, external, and the ongoing search. And the INSPIR brand would be strongly present in the students' internal search since the activity would be a past experience in their memory. And also, the emotions would definitely have them thinking that going to INSPIR is the best option.